So we were talking about, you brought this up, and this is a pretty fascinating market. Again, there's so many things to bet into if you want when it comes to the NFL, pretty much all of these things. I mentioned if you go on like DraftKings website and you look at just the Women's World Cup and the offerings
wild.
there, I don't know how you would sort through all of it at one time to find, dig up something. So there are people out there that do. So one of the markets that is up now over at DraftKings is most improved regular season record. So obviously most improved from a season ago. So for example, if we're looking at it, the Chicago Bears at plus 210 are the favorite here in this market. The Chicago Bears last year finishing with the worst record. They only had 3 wins and are a team that has a win total of 7.5 that many believe could make a big push after a somewhat successful offseason. So they are there at plus 210. The second choice, one that I would more gravitate toward, the Denver Broncos, who were 5-12 last year, I think can be a playoff team this coming season if Sean Payton can kind of get things right there. So there's a lot of different options. Kelly, I will ask you, because here's another way to attack this, which this is not something I have done yet, right? Because I can't really find the market for it. But I'll bring this up to you. I have brought up the fact that the Jacksonville Jaguars could be a candidate because of their schedule to finish with the 1 seed in the AFC. Again, not power rated as the best team in the AFC, but somebody that could take advantage of an opportunistic schedule and post a record that is better than what they are as a collective. They were 9-8 last year.
Right.
If they do that, right, if they're going to win that, they would also be a candidate for most improved regular season record, because you would think it would take about 13 games to win that 1 seed. They were 9-8, so that would be an improvement of 4 wins. That would put you right in the realm of Chicago, right? I mean, Chicago Bears, for example. If you go from 3 to 7 wins or 8 wins, right around the win total, that's 4 to 5 wins. So like Jacksonville, so instead of what I'm saying here is, instead of betting into a market of will the Jaguars win the 1 seed in the AFC and probably getting in the range of about 14-1 or so, why not most improved regular season record at 22-1? That would somewhat correlate with that coming to fruition.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. Either maybe not a complete bet instead, but I would put more money here. So I think when you're evaluating this market, this is a new market I've never seen posted before, but when you're evaluating this from an NFL side, what do you think is the number of wins a team needs to improve by to actually win this market?
I mean, I think we can guess that it's 4 to 5.
Okay, that's what I think. When I was first looking at this last night, I was thinking 5. Right? Yeah. Like I think you gotta look for a team that I think you can go 5 over what they did a year ago.
And by the way, I'm using the Bears as my barometer because what are the Bears win total? 8.5, like right, 7.5.
Yeah, I think it's 7.5. So 8.5.
If they're the
they go from 3 to 8.
Correct.
Yeah.
So they won 3 games last year. Their win total's around 8.5. Thus, that's the difference of about 5 games. They're the favorite to win the market. That's where my number comes.
And I actually think the Bears and the Jags are the easiest to think about that with, right? Because if you expect the Bears to make a big jump, like I think we all do, that's why they're the short shot in this market. Yeah, you're getting to 8 wins there. For the Jags, it's got to be 14, right? So you're talking about putting yourself right in that position to be the 1 seed in the AFC. That was when you brought this up. You brought that up. That was the first team that I kind of thought of because I have Jags division bets already and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, you go from 9 to 14, like that puts you right in that situation. So. I think it would be them. This is a really interesting market though to me because I think there's a lot of teams you could look at. Like if you're betting anything Browns or Jets this year, right? You should be playing this market too.
So I brought this up to Pritch when we talked to him. Was that yesterday? Man, all these days they just they melt.
Yeah, together. It was yesterday. Yeah.
So for me, the team that like. There's a lot of teams that I think are projected to be near the bottom of their division that I think the market is sleeping on. And I've talked about a couple of them, right? I've talked about the Patriots. I've talked about the Green Bay Packers. And the Browns, to me, are one that I think they have the key word is potential.
Yeah, me too.
If Deshaun Watson is close to being Deshaun Watson of 2020, and by the way, I did bet Myles Garrett to win Defensive Player of the Year at 8-1.
Oh, okay.
Like I think that there is a real realm here for the Cleveland Browns to be much better. And if we go back again, if we're under the assumption that most improved would get you 4 or 5 wins, that would put you at about 11 wins this season for the Cleveland Browns. They won 7 last year, so 11 to 12 wins. Again, it's a very successful season. But when you're looking at it from the perspective of what Cleveland can be, Kelly, like I don't think it's out of this world if you're getting good quarterback play from the Cleveland Browns, that this is going to be a team that might be a lot better than most would indicate. I don't think you can take a lot from Deshaun Watson's play last year. That scenario in terms of coming back after a long layoff, late season, bad weather, all that kind of stuff. The potential is there for this team if we're looking around at the end of the year, much like I brought up with Jacksonville and being like, oh, they got a pretty good record. I don't know if they're that good, but they got a pretty good record. It's the same thing here with Cleveland, where when you get through like that game against Week 9 for the Cardinals, and you're looking at a Cleveland team that might only have like 2 losses on their card, I don't think it would be out of this world to see Cleveland as one of those teams that can win the AFC North, win about 11 or 12 games, and all of a sudden you're in contention for most improved.
Yeah, the way I would put it with that, I think that division is going to be absolutely brutal. Like, here's the, I think that I'm very high on the Bengals. My opinion on the Bengals really hasn't changed much in the past year and a half, right? But I think people are still, I'm in the camp of, I think people are sleeping on the Ravens a bit this year. I think watch out. I think this is one of the better surrounding casts that Lamar Jackson's ever had. You're going to get Lamar Jackson coming back. Look, some guy that's had a lot of rest coming off a turbulent offseason. I'm expecting him to play angry, play well, play big to come out of the gates. And then exactly what you said about the Browns, I would totally expect for them to improve. And then we saw what the Steelers did last year. And I don't know if you know this, Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season.
I've heard that.
If that keeps going, this division is going to be absolutely brutal. Yeah. But I think there are teams like the Browns that, like, there's not as big a separation between all 4 of those teams as I think people want to believe, especially the top 3, Cleveland, Baltimore, and Cincinnati.
And I'll throw out something else, too. Like, so I know our buddy Will Hill is really high on the New York Jets this year.
Yep.
If you're somebody like Will who believes that this Jets thing is going to work perfectly.
I'm not, but if you are,
yes,
totally.
11-1 for most improved. They won 7 games last year. If you think they can win the division, if you think they're going to be every bit as good as they potentially can be with that defense, and if you're getting vintage Aaron Rodgers to come back and win 12 games, that would put you at 5 wins over what you were last year. That you're, again, what you're shooting for, I think we're right, is shooting for that 5-win improvement mark.
Yeah.
And if you think that this Jets team can be a 1 seed and be as good as maybe on paper some believe them to be, I don't know why you wouldn't look at 11-1 for the most improved record.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think there's some value in this market though, because we're talking about double digits.
Is there a least improvement or whatever?
No.
Yeah, I mean that's a good market to look at too.
Yeah, if we could go the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would be the worst from a year ago?
Yeah. I don't know, how do you phrase that? Most improved, least improved? I don't know. I got all these ideas, man. I got all these ideas.
Who would that be for you? The Vikings? Vikings would be the short shot.
No, don't disrespect my guys. Don't disrespect
they're
my
guys on this show. You better watch out.
Okay. I'm a big Kirk Cousins guy. I've been watching quarterback, you know? Him and his son, Coop. This is what you do after a long day, Coop. You build a fire out back.
They would definitely be the short shot in that market, though. They're 13-4.
Everybody
want to talk about the one-score games.
Favorite.
Yeah, they would be the favorite of that market.
I mean, look at their win total this year, right? That's about what I'm bad at math, about a 4.5 win difference.
Yep.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.